about how abortion is driving voters to the polls, but that, of course, is just one of so many important issues.
And we're going to get to some more with Troy Mayor Ethan Baker and Osama Sablani, publisher of the Arab American News. They're in studio. Guys, thank you for joining us. How are you feeling on this election day?
Thank you. Tired, man.
I get tired, right?
Tired.
It's early.
At 6 o'clock, it felt like 9 o'clock. So
Yeah.
at 9
Right.
o'clock, it really feels like midnight.
Yeah. And it's not going to be over very soon.
Right. We anticipate that this could take a while, and we're all going to have to be a little bit patient. I know for you, Osama, we've spent a lot of time together over the last few months, with the war in Gaza, with now Lebanon, and you made the decision not to endorse either candidate in this, which I think...
There was no way that we can do it. We were talking to them. Actually, we were talking to Biden, then later Harris, for 12 months. And then we've talked also to Trump's campaign. And we decided that at the end of the day, we have to make a decision here to direct our community, or at least recommend to our community where to go. And we thought the best decision is just not to vote for the president, not to vote for the Senate, but to vote down the ballot, because there were some important people and issues on the ballot. And I think that after we announced that, the two campaigns were pushing hard in the community. They came very, very often, and they visited, and they bent over, and I don't know, I don't want to say what they did, but they kissed a lot of feet.
Kissed a lot of feet. They worked harder for those votes,
to make it a better, for a better, word. I have other words to say, but you can't say it.
What's the message? And before we get to Mayor Baker, what's the message that you hope that this kind of move sends? Because I've heard from some people in Dearborn who said that they heard from people that were in D.C. Consultants were telling then President Biden, when he was running, the Arab American vote, you don't have to worry about that. But we've seen in the uncommitted vote, and we've seen with your move here, that you're really making waves and showing that the Arab American vote is just as important as any other voting bloc in the country.
It is important, and because Michigan is a swing state. And I'll give you a little bit of a background here very quickly. In 2016, we decided not to vote for either candidate, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, you remember, he won by 10,700 votes. 2020, we have decided to support Biden because we did not like what we've heard from Donald Trump, and he won by 153,000 votes. And now we are abstaining also from the votes, because we do not want to vote for Donald Trump, because we do not like what President Biden has done with also his Vice President Harris. Now, I don't know what the result is going to be, but regardless, I feel guilty because I supported Joe Biden. I do feel guilty because now 43,000 dead in Gaza and 3,000 in Lebanon, total destruction everywhere, and there is no end in sight. There is no end in sight. So and I know for sure that our president, our leaders can stop this immediately. They have the power to stop it if they want to. If there is a will, there is a way. So far, there hasn't been a will to stop it. I don't know what's going to happen after the election. We hope whoever wins, they are promising that they're going to stop it. Now, what's happening, we'll see.
Mayor Baker,
the mayor, we're going to just say also, obviously this is a huge issue, as we've been talking with Osama about. What are you hearing from your constituents in terms of other issues that are driving them to vote?
I think that the very standard bread and butter issues that face every voter, and I think about the economy, is always a driving factor in who's going to vote or why you vote for a certain candidate. Immigration is a big deal. We look at immigration a little bit differently in Troy. We're not on a border here, although we're close to the Canadian border, so it's in play. But we have we're about 29% foreign born, and a lot of those.
Very diverse.
Very diverse in Troy, and they've come, following the rules with EB visas, and they've got everything, and so they're very much involved in what's happening at the immigration status and what's changing in the federal laws, because it affects how they can work in this country, and so it really matters. So economy and immigration are really important, and then I think it just goes down the line. I mean, Troy pretty much mirrors what you see at the national level on any given day as what's important.
As mayor of Troy, what are you hoping? Either candidate, what are you hoping to pull out of this election, and how it can benefit your city?
Well, I think that's really important. I've had a good, I've been mayor. I got elected mayor when President Trump was in office the first time. Most of the time I've served with President Biden as the president. And what's really important to all of us mayors is the interplay between the federal government and our local offices. And I think we've seen a really good push by the federal government to try to engage mayors at the local level, because they recognize that we're the ones that are really dealing with the most residents on any given day. We see them out in the community. We really know what the heartbeat of all of them is. So anything, to me, what's really important is having that good connection, so we know when there's an issue in Washington that needs to be decided, we have a voice at the table.
I've lived in Troy, Michigan myself. I think before he was born. but I know that I've heard from people in the community, in Troy community, that he's doing an excellent job. And I wanted to thank you. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your leadership and for bringing people together. That's leadership.
Well, that is leadership right there. And we thank both of you. Thank you so much for being with us. All right.
Look, we appreciate you joining us. Finally, tonight, we do have some final thoughts from some of our panelists.
That's right. Our Troy Mayor, Ethan Baker's back, as well as Washtenaw County Prosecutor Ellie Savitt, staying up late with us tonight. And as we kind of sit back and watch the rest of these election results roll in and see where our country is moving, what are your sort of final thoughts for us tonight? I guess we'll start with you, Mr. Mayor.
I'll try to sit back, like you said.
Sit back.
We'll be here all night. I think it's like too close to call, they say it. They've been saying it for a year now, I think. We don't know yet. Things look pretty similar, as they always have. I mean, up until this point, still not a lot of votes coming out of Pennsylvania. Not a lot coming out of Michigan yet. I think we're going to see a huge influx when all those votes start coming in. It's going to move the needle quite a bit, but no big surprises yet. I don't think anyone's really noticed anything. I think the most important thing for me is, I'm a mayor of a city with a lot of different people, a lot of different viewpoints. We're going to be okay as a country no matter what. We have to be. We have no choice, and it's going to be up to all of us as individuals and as leaders to make sure that happens. So we have a responsibility moving forward after tonight to do what's right for the people of our communities and to be good neighbors to people, right? We're human, and we all need to get along and be good people. But that's kind of what I'm going to have to focus on for moving forward.
Thank you, Mayor. Ellie?
Well, yeah, putting on a political pundit hat, I will say what everybody else has already said. It's very close. We're going to see a lot of votes coming in out of Michigan and Pennsylvania, which I think the race is probably going to come down to. But I agree with the mayor here. We both serve in local government, and when we're prosecuting cases, we're not caring about whether somebody's a Democrat or a Republican. We're trying to make everybody in our community safe. That's what we do in local government. That's what we try to do in the state of Michigan. And ultimately, of course, I'm a Democrat. I'm hoping Vice President Harris pulls us out. But ultimately, I hope that whoever is elected tonight, not just for President of the United States, but across all the important races that we have, that we can start to really tackle problems for everybody in our community, because ultimately, we're going to all have to live with whoever is elected. And I hope that they will take seriously their obligation to work for all of us.
And we have a couple of minutes, but real quick, you bring up a very interesting point for both of you, talking with constituents. Do you get the feeling when you talk to them in person that they want to end this divisiveness, but when you see it online, it feels like it's more prevalent?
I will say absolutely, right? I mean, you go and you have a face-to-face conversation with people. I go out to the rural parts of my community, which lean more Republican. We all agree on a lot more than divides us. And it's only when you get behind a computer screen and you're on social media that you really see this vitriol. And even where we disagree, for the most part, people are able to have respectful, honest conversations and debates with each other. And I hope that that's what we can get back to and stop focusing so much on this online vitriol and really start to work together with our neighbors, because we are neighbors and we live together and we share this community.
So maybe we need to put down our phones and get out from behind the computer and go out and meet each other and talk to each other and find some common ground.
Smile.
Thank you both so much.
We can't forget to smile.
Makes a huge difference, I'm telling you.
So true. Thanks, guys. We
thank
really
you so much.
appreciate you being with us on this election night.
And we thank you all for joining us on this special coverage. Fox 2 News at 10 is coming up, both here on our streaming and on your television.
That's right. Our coverage continues all night long on all of our platforms, so we hope you stay with us.